Hey there, it's Elena Bear. It has been a very long time since my last update. I don't remember how to do this anymore. But I decided to make this video because I've been putting it off for a long time, and I thought if I put it off any longer, I'm just not gonna make it. So it was like now or never. So big news, Lanson and I are expecting our first baby. Yes, little baby bear is on the way. I'm currently 14 weeks and 2 days pregnant. But I intended to do like weekly or at least monthly update videos. And I just never did it because I'm the worst. So I'm just gonna try to cram in everything that I can remember into this video, and I'm sorry if it's like an hour long because I just am not concise at all. Lanson and I decided to try to have a baby around Christmas time. I think it was like on Christmas Day we kind of had the talk of like, all right, we're ready, like let's do this. We kind of tried to have the talk like other times, but it was just like we were like, not yet. Like we were on the same page about it. And Christmas Day we're like, okay. So we tried for 3 months, and on the 4th month is when I actually got pregnant. Since I was trying, I kind of like was paying attention and knew like the day that I missed my period, like, oh, something's up, you know? And it's funny because it wasn't a surprise, but all of a sudden when I missed my period, I was like, what? Wait a minute. This actually worked. So I took a pregnancy test and it was positive, and yeah, it was just this, I was shocked, even though I really shouldn't have been shocked, but I was, and it was just this like crazy feeling of, oh my gosh, now what? I just was, I guess, so just stuck on thinking about, getting pregnant that once I didn't know what to think. I was hesitant to feel excited, to be honest. Like, I was excited, but I wasn't nearly as excited as I thought I would be, when I saw that positive pregnancy test. I was really happy and I was excited, but I was kind of holding myself back. And I was able to get an appointment at my OBGYN the following day, like right after I took the test. And I thought they would, maybe do their own form of pregnancy test or something. They didn't do anything. Basically, I talked to this really mean, grouchy midwife who didn't even look at me the whole time and didn't give me any information. She didn't even tell me like what I need to stop eating. Like, she didn't even say like, oh, you should probably stop drinking alcohol. I mean, obviously I just knew that, but she gave me zero information, and then she proceeded to tell me that miscarriages are extremely common and I need to be aware of that. And she just was super Debbie Downer, and I went to the doctor in order to get reassurance, and that's like the opposite of what I got. So I think that made the first several weeks of my pregnancy really difficult emotionally. Honestly, if I was not someone who believed in God, I don't even know how I would have handled it. Like, I got through it because of praying and because of just like trusting in God and being able to like put my anxiety on him. And I'm just totally out of breath, like, sorry, sitting on the floor totally out of breath because I'm talking. Yeah, I just generally have anxiety already, and so for someone to be like, yeah, miscarriages are super common. Yeah, so like, basically don't be surprised if you have one. Like, for someone to say that to a person that has bad anxiety already and is like, I mean, okay, I'll admit I'm kind of a hypochondriac. So if there's something medically that could go wrong, I sort of like assume it's going to happen to me. it was definitely a challenge of my faith and my strength in the Lord to not go completely crazy the first few weeks where the risk of miscarriage is super high. And Lanson was amazing, and he can calm me down 100 times a day if he needs to. He can calm me down when I am just hysterical. So he's just been amazing, and he's so happy. He was, from day one, he was so thrilled, was not scared at all, was not worried for a single second about miscarriage. And he understands that it's a possibility, but he wasn't like preventing himself from being happy, just in case kind of thing. So how did I feel those first few days and stuff? Physically. So emotionally, I was like, I'm happy, but I'm also scared, but I'm happy, but I'm like really scared. Physically, I had cramps, like period cramps. You know what? I would say the first symptom that I felt was probably like the moment I conceived, because like 10 days or so before my missed period, my boobs hurt so much. They were really, really sore. And my mom just at some point randomly mentioned to me that when she got pregnant, that was something that she noticed. And so hearing her say that and then me experiencing it, I was like, okay, something's up. So that was the first thing. And then when I was supposed to get my period, I did feel cramps, like period cramps. And I had like bloating, like I just puffed up like a balloon. That's not something I expected at all. Like I read some things online. They talked about sore breasts. They talked about some cramping, but nothing I read talked about like instant bloating. Like the day you become pregnant, you're like, oh, your pants don't fit anymore. I thought I had like several months before I got any bigger, and obviously it's not the baby yet. It's just the hormones and your body's reaction to the hormones. But yeah, so I had to kind of like change what I was wearing like right away. One thing I would say to anybody out there who is newly pregnant, one piece of advice is all of the apps or like just online message boards or secret Facebook groups or whatever for newly pregnant people. I was all over that stuff, and that was actually, I think, a big mistake, because you're gonna see a ton of women posting, oh, I just started bleeding. Oh, I just went to the ER and found out that I had a miscarriage. And that was really bad for me. Like there were posts that were good. Those can be, those message boards and groups and stuff can be good for some people, but people like me who kind of think that, bad medical things are going to happen to them, really you need to avoid looking at that stuff. I definitely suggest writing in a journal and having a couple people you can talk to, because the reason I got on all those different apps and message boards and all this is because I was feeling really lonely. I wanted to talk about the fact that I was pregnant and that things are happening to my body that are weird, and just all my feelings that I suddenly had with all these hormones. But, society really tells us we're not supposed to talk about that until we're like way further along. So I just went on the internet and found other people that were newly pregnant and just as unstable as I was, which was not a good thing. And so I think it's good to maybe have a couple people like in real life that you can tell super, super early on, and then just talk to about stuff, because then they can calm you down, whereas random people on the internet might just end up scaring you more. That was just my experience. So we ended up just the way that it was with like my birthday and like relatives visiting from Austria. We ended up telling people pretty early because we wanted to tell people in person. We didn't want to just like call our family and stuff. So whenever we happened to have visits with family members, we're like, okay, we're going to tell them today. And everyone was so sweet and so happy for us and just, you know, did their best to calm me down because of, you know, they know me and they knew I was nervous. So, okay, let me continue with just how I was feeling because I know this is going to be a super long video. I'm sorry. This is how I operate on the internet. Week 5, that's when the nausea started and like food aversions. I just did not like anything that was remotely close to healthy. I could not stand eating chicken, broccoli, like even any kind of the fish that I normally like, that is safe for pregnancy. I couldn't stand it. Like there was no meat that tasted okay. It was disgusting. It smelled disgusting. It was not appealing to me at all. Vegetables, I just couldn't stand vegetables. It was like all of a sudden everything is disgusting unless it's like the kind of food a 4-year-old would enjoy. So like grilled cheese, mac and cheese, like pizza, like that was the only stuff that was okay and that I could eat. And I noticed that when I would eat, like when I would eat often, then I wouldn't be as nauseous. As soon as I started getting a little bit hungry, then the nausea would hit really bad. And I was very fortunate and I actually never threw up. I just felt like I was going to all the time. It was bad in the mornings and then like it would, after eating breakfast, it would be okay and I would just kind of like snack all the time. I was like paranoid of like having an empty stomach. So I was like constantly grazing. Then the afternoon I would feel like okay-ish. And then evening was really bad too with the nausea. Like the times that I came closest to actually throwing up were like at nighttime. Yeah, in my notebook here it says that like running errands is 50 times harder now. I have to remind myself that this is temporary. It's hard not to feel down sometimes. And I remember thinking I wanted to keep this notebook really upbeat. I didn't want to write a whole lot of negative stuff in it, but like it was rough. Like week 5, week 6, like that was a tough time because I was still nervous and I felt like crap. Yeah, as far as exercise, I was allowed to continue my exercise as usual, is what the doctor said. But oh my gosh, just between the nausea and then the exhaustion, just in extreme fatigue, I could not do my normal workout routine. So I kind of kicked it down. I was working out like 6 to 7 days a week, like legit 6 to 7 days a week, at least 30 to 50 minutes a day, just, you know, a variety of stuff. I use Fitness Blender videos here on YouTube. It's amazing. Go to like the Fitness Blender channel. They have hundreds of awesome workout videos, and I just open like a Pandora or Spotify, whatever, just have music in the background. But I've been doing that for years. Anyway, I took it down to like 2 to 3 days a week and then super easy videos. And it was still pretty pathetic that I like barely could get through anything. So that was discouraging too, because it's like, I felt like a lot of things I enjoyed in life were sort of suddenly taken away, you know, and I thought for some reason, stupidly assumed that at least I could exercise to kind of get my anxiety and my stress out. No, didn't even have that either. So it was a hard time for sure. The first few weeks just emotionally were difficult and physically too. Okay, so then at 6 weeks I had my first ultrasound and I'm so grateful that they, you know, were willing to do it early. They just decided to do an ultrasound at 6 weeks for some reason. There's nothing wrong and no reason for them to do that. But Lance and I went and we got to see the baby. Well, it was like a little blob. I mean, we could barely see anything at all. But it was a little blob, and then I'll show you a picture. So I framed this on Father's Day because I'm a loser. But there's a little blob and just like it was just an egg sac thing. It was not even a placenta yet at that point. But yeah, that's actually the only ultrasound I've had so far. I'm gonna have one coming up in a few weeks, but I'm like really, really, really low risk, which is great, but that also means I don't get ultrasounds like ever. So seeing it was like, it was just a blob, but hearing the heartbeat for the very first time, I can't even describe it. It was the most amazing feeling. I just started like sobbing. It was just such a relief that, you know, it's not like all in my head. Like there is something there. I'm not just like thinking I'm pregnant because I saw it on a stick, you know? Like there was really something there. And that was, yeah, I don't even have words. It was so cool. Okay, so then, yeah, weeks 5 and 6 were about the same. Really tired, really nauseous, and all healthy food is disgusting. At 7 weeks, I started getting the weird, really vivid dreams that a lot of pregnant women get. The same things before as like the nausea, the tiredness and stuff, but add on the vivid dreams. Oh, so I don't know if you can tell in this video, you probably can. My skin has been horrible. So when I was in high school, I had really, really severe hormonal acne. And I had a suspicion that whenever I got pregnant, it would come back. But I did not think it would come back like as bad as it was in high school. I was taking birth control pills for years, which really helped my skin. Like it just totally cleared up my skin and it was awesome. Yeah, basically like, I mean, it took a little while. I was off birth control for a few months before I got pregnant. And it wasn't until maybe the 4th week or something that all of a sudden my skin just like overnight, just like severe acne, just like in high school. And I was devastated because it was like traumatizing. I mean, if anyone who's had severe acne in high school, I don't know, it's definitely traumatizing. Sorry, my nose is itchy. And yeah, I mean, I'm 14 weeks and my skin is still horrible, so. I didn't write it down, but at some point, I think maybe at like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, my boobs weren't as painful anymore, and they like, that's when they started growing. A lot of people, their boobs grow right away, but I mean, mine took like a couple weeks of like, okay, so like 6 or 7 weeks pregnant is when they actually like grew a lot, and I was like, oh my goodness, my bras are not fitting. Oh, bra extenders. It's the best thing ever. I paid like $1.70 for a bra extender at Walmart. I use that every single day now. I just add it to whatever bra I'm wearing that day. You can take it off and put it on any bra. And that has been so awesome because I don't want to get new bras until I'm like way bigger, you know? So for like $1.70, it was in the sewing department. I like looked everywhere before finally some lady helped me and directed me toward the like sewing department where they have fabric and stuff, and that's where you'll find them. And there's different sizes and stuff, but that has been an awesome, awesome, awesome thing. Like weeks 5 and 6 are when the nausea got really bad, and nothing really changed until probably 10 weeks. So yeah, there was about a month where I just felt the same the whole way through, just exhausted. I mean, that was another thing I didn't expect. Like when you read in a book or on the internet that you're gonna feel fatigue, you're gonna feel really tired, it's nothing like actually experiencing just exhaustion all day long for no reason, because I didn't do anything and I was so tired. And through all of this, I feel like I'm just like complaining and complaining. Through all of this, I was just so aware that I am experiencing this miracle of life. This incredible blessing was given to me, and I almost felt like unworthy of it. I was just so in awe of just the fact that, you know, we didn't struggle with infertility, which so many people do. Like, I just felt so blessed and almost guilty that we kind of had an easy time and stuff. So I was so happy and also scared and also guilty and also nauseous and like lots of emotions. Oh, I didn't talk about like cravings at all. So yeah, basically healthy food was gross except for fruit. I've actually been loving fruit. Since day one, for some reason, my number one favorite fruit was strawberries, which I didn't really care too much about strawberries before, but I have eaten so many strawberries since I got pregnant. At this point, I think I'm starting to get sick of them. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't think I want strawberries today. But I was eating so many strawberries, like every day. I was eating apples and bananas and grapes, like just loving it. And I know that that's like sugary, like that's not even a good thing to be eating that much fruit, but I was like really into it. At 10 weeks, I had another appointment and I heard baby's heartbeat just on a fetal Doppler. And again, I cried because it's like, I know baby's in there, but hearing the heartbeat, it just confirms it and just, I don't know, it's like this just incredible feeling. Sorry, I like have literally no words. Like it's, it is, yeah, no, I have nothing to say because it is unlike any other feeling I've ever experienced. So I don't know how to describe it, but it's amazing. So let's see. Oh, okay. So then at 12 weeks is when I started getting headaches. And I have really bad allergies and I haven't been allowed to take my regular like super duper allergy medicines and stuff. So I'm on like some weaker things. And so I think I've just been having like sinus headaches a lot because of just bad allergies right now outside and whatever. Oh, I can't believe I didn't mention this because this is like a huge thing. But I have been all about sweets. I mean, I did say that I'm into fruit, but it's like, it's the sugar. Like I have just been really, really into sugar. So anything sweet, like donuts or cake or whatever, like that is the most delicious thing to me. I guess you could say if I have any kind of cravings, it would be for sweet stuff, you know, candy or something like that. But yeah, basically hitting 12 weeks was a huge, huge deal for me because I was so freaked out. What is my hair doing? And 12 weeks is when we announced on social media. So that was really scary because even, you know, at 12 weeks they say like it's safe, but it's still just scary like letting a secret out like that. Like it's just, it was like a big deal. Like everything is really changing now in our lives in the best way possible. Like I'm so happy and I love our lives now, but it's definitely already different than it was before I was pregnant. So it was just kind of, you know, crazy really letting the world know and like, all right, the secret's out, you know? I feel like I'm missing so many things even though I've been talking for like literally 3 hours. But yeah, I have bought a few maternity clothes and a few like little baby things, but not much at all. I was waiting until I was like, you know, pretty far along to buy anything. And well, one thing I bought, here, I'll show you this. So, okay, my tattoo, you've probably seen before, is a bear with a heart. And I found this at Target. It's like tarnished and gross, so sorry about that. But it is like the same as my tattoo and it says mama. It even has a heart, like, that's so crazy. I mean, it's almost identical to my tattoo. It's just nuts. And I found that the day after I saw the positive pregnancy test. It was just like fate, you know. I don't ever like go to Target because it's kind of far away. And for some reason I stopped by the jewelry thing, even though I was in a hurry and I like needed to just grab something. I just decided to look at the jewelry randomly and I saw this and I'm like, oh my goodness, it was made for me. So this was the first thing I bought. And then I bought a few little baby things in order to announce to people, to like give to people to kind of announce to family members. And then like just today I just bought a bunch of maternity stuff on clearance at Target. Score. Because I mean maternity clothes can definitely be expensive. Which I never really thought about before I was pregnant. But yeah, it's a lot, and it's like, I don't wear it for very long, so I don't want to spend a ton of money on maternity clothes, so I was really excited to see those sales. Well, so basically right now, the nausea's gone, the fatigue is definitely eased up. I'm not like back to normal, but the fatigue has definitely eased up a lot. I would say the nausea went away at like 11 weeks. So pretty early. It was awesome. I definitely had an easier time than a lot of pregnant women. So I'm really grateful for that. I definitely have somewhat of a bump now. Let me show you. So this is 14 weeks and 2 days, and I'm just wearing like house clothes. But yeah, love handles have gotten bigger. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely something there. I've been taking pictures every week, so I can definitely see a difference in the pictures. Yeah, I'm excited. It's definitely weird. Like every time I go to put clothes on, I'm like, well, I don't know what's gonna fit today. So I have to like try a couple things on sometimes. And I have like this growing pile of things that don't fit that I'm just gonna put in a box until later, because it's just too much of a mess to have a bunch of clothes that don't fit in my closet. But yeah, I've been so just relieved. I had an OBGYN appointment today. I heard the baby's heartbeat again. The baby was actually kicking, and so on the fetal Doppler, you would like hear the heartbeat, and then this really loud noise, like if someone had a microphone and like hit it or like dropped the mic, like that like loud noise, like kind of a pop. We heard that on the Doppler, and the doctor was just cracking up. She's like, your baby's kicking. Your baby's really, really strong. And so it was funny and it was amazing. And yeah, so all of my like fears and anxieties are gone at this point. I'm really calm, well, as calm as I can be for being such a high-strung person. I'm really just happy, and I'm so relieved to be out of the first trimester. I mean, I know people say the third is really difficult, but I think in a lot of ways the first has to be the worst, just because it's such a mind game, you know? So if you're in it, you are not alone. Like, it is really tough. And you can ask me questions or just talk to me, complain to me if you want, because I totally get it. Ugh, it is hard. You're lonely, you feel like crap. Like food is gross, and just, yeah, like it's a mess, and you have this big secret that you're probably not telling a whole lot of people, and yeah. I think that's everything. I'm gonna think of like 50 things I should have told you the moment I turn off the camera, but this is just way too long already. I know I need to film more. It's just pathetic how long it's been since my last video. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I don't have my equipment here. We're temporarily staying with my mom. I have an update about that, which I will tell you in a different video because we don't want this to be 3 hours long. So, okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, which I will make at some point that is not months and months away from now. I promise. Okay, bye guys.